Barstool Sports has just announced that they have fired Ben Mintz, Mintzy. During a recent episode of Wake Up with Mintzy, Ben Mintz was rapping and he sadly dropped the N-bomb.
Get some yayo, double up, nigga. You know what you need,
You can even tell once he says it that he starts stumbling, he realizes how bad he messed up. We'll listen to it one more time.
Double up, nigga. You know what you need,
Yeah, you can tell. Look at it, his soul leaves.
Nigga. You know what you need,
Looks like his soul basically just left his body, and he put a apology out, but that wasn't enough. And it wasn't really up to Barstool. It was more up to Penn National Gaming. In this video, Dave Portnoy even mentions how him, Erica Nardini, and Big Cat tried to save his job.
I felt differently, and I'm stunned by it. And I've been fighting tooth and nail, as has Erica, as has Dan, to keep Ben and say this is the wrong decision. But Penn operates in a world that we don't operate in it.
And another thing about it is Portnoy got canceled for the same thing before. And Portnoy stuck up for it, saying, he's sorry. He shouldn't have did it, but he was singing a song.
To all my niggas that been living it up,
is Portnoy going to get fired now? Because it wasn't just one time.
Yell something in his EDP like twang, like fuck this nigga, like in the middle, and everyone's like, what? And then
all right, guys, so we got to talk about Barstool Sports, which admittedly, I can't lie to you guys, I have not seen too much of, okay? So I'm not that familiar with the company or the program. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are more familiar with this than me, so correct me in the comment section if I say something wrong, if I'm misunderstanding something. But Barstool Sports is a sports entertainment company dealing with gambling and other stuff, okay? Now, again, I am familiar with the founder or the president of Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy, and some of his opinions that he puts out there. He gets into politics a little bit sometimes, right? So I'm familiar with it, okay? I just don't really watch it. But there's a story that is getting a little political here as the PC crowd has once again struck, okay, and cancel culture is here as one of the guys that works there that was a host by the name of Ben Mintz was fired by the company for accidentally rapping the N-word. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play the segment of this guy rapping the N-word. Allegedly, he did it accidentally. And then we're going to talk about the backlash and why he was fired. So without further ado, go ahead and roll the clip.
Get some yayo, double up, nigga. You know what you need, Get some.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, right? I thought it was honestly hilarious, okay, to be quite honest with you. I didn't really have much of a problem with it. I'm not sure how that's a fireable offense outside of him being white and saying the N-word. We've heard black people say the N-word on, I guess, radio or whatever, on TV entertainment. Nobody bats an eye, but, apparently the word is supposed to be so bad that it's a fireable offense. Again, only if you're white, apparently, okay? Doesn't matter how a black person uses it, whether it's derogatory or what, right, or a term of endearment. Doesn't matter. If you're white and you use the word, regardless of how you use it, again, it's a fireable offense, apparently, okay? And Barstool fans are upset because Barstool Sports is supposed to be anti-PC, okay? They're supposed to be anti-PC, anti-cancel culture, right? But yet they are giving in to PC culture, okay? They're giving in to being politically correct here by firing a guy who rapped the N-word, allegedly accidentally. Dave Portnoy, the president of Barstool, is getting massive backlash for letting go of Mintzy, for saying the N-word, and he's responding by blaming the parent company, the company that bought Barstool Sports, Penn Entertainment, saying that, well, we could lose our gambling license because we didn't fire this guy for saying the N-word. Take a look.
Okay, emergency press conference time. Bad news. This sucks. So today we had to fire Ben Mintz, the artist formerly known as Ben Mintz. It stems from his Wake Up with Mintzy. Ironically, finally got to do him live, and he was rapping lyrics to a rap song, reading the words off his phone. And he rapped a racial slur. He turned white as a ghost. You could tell instantly, he's like, oh my God, what did I do? It's like a Ron Burgundy moment. He read it. He knew he fucked up. He's been super apologetic, like in shambles, basically. And I think anybody who watched the clip was like, there's no way he meant to do that. He's just not the brightest bulb to ever come down the pipe. And he just screwed up, and he knew he screwed up. And there was no hatred behind it, no nothing. Still awful, but not in my wildest dreams that I think I'd be sitting here being like, we had to fire Ben Mintz. Penn felt differently. Penn felt differently, and I'm stunned by it. And I've been fighting tooth and nail, as has Erica, as has Dan, to keep Ben and say this is the wrong decision. But Penn operates in a world that we don't operate in it. They are highly regulated by the government. They're issued licenses for gambling that just as easily as they're issued, they can be pulled back. And for anybody who has followed any of the states and Penn trying to get legalized and things like that, one thing's clear. A lot of people hate my guts. They fucking hate me. They hate Barstool. And they look for any lever, any excuse, anything to cause problems for us and pull the licenses. Penn is convinced, and they've been very clear, Penn, since they took over. It's a zero tolerance policy moving forward. You can't do stuff like this. And really, we haven't had an incident like this since they've taken over. And they believe there's a legitimate chance lots of the states would pull their licenses because of this. Penn's $1 billion company, multi-billion dollar company. Without their licenses, they are a $0 company. Investors, families, employees, thousands of people, they feel it's their job to protect all of this. And the only answer is to fire Ben Mintz. I still disagree with it. And maybe I'm naive. I'm like, there is just no way anybody can look at that clip and think the punishment fits the crime. It makes my skin crawl thinking a guy would lose their job on an innocent mistake. Yes, horrible, but clearly no intent. Clearly he's in shambles about it, instantly in shambles. It just makes my skin, it's everything I've stood against for 20 years. And I told Penn, and I told Jago, you risk alienating, you're fighting to save, the Barstool brand to use. There may be nothing left to protect if you go through this. But again, Penn's a multi-billion dollar company. We're a small part of it. And they think the whole thing was at risk.
Yeah, so as of the making of this video, which is 11:39 a.m. Eastern Time on 5/4/23, Penn Entertainment stock quite literally is tanking. Okay, it's tanking. 12.01%. Like that actually could be defined as a crash. Okay, for a stock to drop 12% in one day, right? We're not even halfway through the day. It's only been 2 hours of trading. 12% down after they fired their host for saying a racial slur. Now, this most likely is happening because a recent earnings report that came out that was lukewarm, apparently. Okay, they didn't beat expectations from Wall Street, and the fact that the Dow Jones, at least as the making of this video, is down quite a bit because of fears with the banking system and, the Fed's continuing to raise interest rates, which has basically caused a lot of these banks, these mid-sized banks that is, to collapse. Probably all that has to do with the stock tanking, okay? But I'm pretty sure firing one of their more popular hosts for saying the N-word probably didn't help, okay? It may have contributed a little bit. We really don't know, but yeah. This stock is tanking massively. And Dave Portnoy is still responding to some of the criticism he's getting because people are calling him a sellout. Okay, even after explaining the situation that, hey, it's not necessarily his decision, he doesn't necessarily support it. People are saying, hey, man, you sold out, right? You sold out because you went along with this. And he's responding to that criticism. Take a look.
So I get every Tom, Dick, and Harry since this Mintzy thing be like, Prez, you're a sellout. You're a sellout. Hey, Prez, you sold out. Well, as the kids say, no doy. No fucking doy I sold out. You're just figuring that out? I started a company and I fucking sold it the fuck out. made hundreds of millions, made millions for everybody who grinded in Milton. Yeah, we sold the fuck out, and that's what you do when you're an entrepreneur. You start this little company, you dream one day, you sell the fuck out. So no toy. Still means this decision sucks. I hate it. Makes me want to puke. But guess what? When I sold out, a couple words, a couple things, it's very clear. You say these things, those decisions are no longer mine. I can't protect you. You know why? Because I sold out. No fucking toy.
Yeah, so here's what I think. I think it's ridiculous that the dude got fired. I actually think that the company claiming that they're going to lose their gambling licenses because they didn't fire a white guy for saying the N-word, I think is BS. But I'm not a legal expert. I'm not sure exactly how that works, okay, when you're in a highly regulated business like gambling. I guess there are things that you can and can't do, but I'm not necessarily sure what that has to do with a host saying the N-word or something offensive on, I guess, the network or whatever. I'm not necessarily sure how that could contribute to somebody losing their license, because the guy didn't say it in a way that was, you know, derogatory. He was rapping song lyrics, okay? And it's amazing to me how we live in a society where people are more upset with people repeating song lyrics than the actual song itself, right? The person that made the song, okay, which was First of the Month by Bone Thugs and Harmony in this case. Again, it's ridiculous. It really is, right? It really is a ridiculous thing, okay? The double standards that we have in our society when it comes to the N-word are really beyond me, because I know for reality, I know for a fact that not just black people say this word, a lot of people say this word across the racial spectrum. They might not necessarily in public, but they say it in private, and they don't always say it in a way that's derogatory. It's just a word that is a part of pop culture. It's a part of our society, and it seems like it's not going anywhere, right? And I'm sick and tired of seeing people punished for saying the word, because certain people in our society have special rights and privileges to use the word, or they have ownership of the word that other people don't have. I don't believe that any race or group should have ownership on any word whatsoever, okay? And if we're going to have a word that is banned for one group to use it, it should be banned for other people to use it, right? So if a black person comes out here and says the N-word, right, they should be punished the same way a white person comes out here and says the N-word. But clearly, that is not the standard, okay? I guarantee you they won't be screaming about losing their gambling licenses, right? Allegedly, that's what it is, right? That's the excuse. If a black person had went on the network and said the N-word, I guarantee you this wouldn't be a thing, right? Or if they had a black host that said the N-word, it wouldn't be a thing. Only because the guy is white, right? Again, I just think it's ridiculous. I think it's petty, okay? I think our society is too soft, right? We get way too upset about the smallest things. We really do. But hey, you know, the stock is tanking, right? Is it because of this? Who knows? Probably not, but it may have something to do with it. Definitely not helping. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.